today I'm working on getting my positive battery connect from the charge controller to the charge controller disconnect. So with these systems, when you run the higher voltage, once you get above 150 volts, you do not run right from the PV array right to the breaker. Get it switched and then come back out and then go to charge control and then back. So you do that with the 6150 model of charge controller, but you don't do it with the 100-600 charge controller or the 81-600 charge control. The PV comes in direct, goes right to the charge control, disconnects out of the array, and then your battery comes out, like on this guy here, comes out, runs through, goes up to my number 2. So again, I'm laying these out. So first breaker, first charge, second, third. Likewise on this side, first, second, and third. So that, it just makes, flowing sense, I guess you'd say. So then, power comes up on this guy. These are not attached yet because I'm just testing the fitment of where they're sitting and stuff. Power comes up into this breaker, and then it's going to come back down off of the middle, and then it goes to the battery connect. So I can disconnect the charge coming from the charge controller to the battery connection. That will then thus feed the batteries. Now I'm using Rw90. I sent a short out yesterday on this stuff. It's a total pain. It's so hard to work with. The bends are very stiff, very difficult. You really got to be careful not to have it mounted in your terminal and then try to do like this bend. You're going to break your terminal. So you got to pre-bend it. So it literally wants to fall into the hole. That's how I have these set. So at that stage, it's really good. So you work really hard to get this set, but now there's no pressure on the terminal head. It's just holding this wants to push up because I have this, but it doesn't want to push forward out, and it doesn't want to pull back or sideways or anything like that because it's so stiff. It holds its position. Going through here, total nightmare. I kept pushing this bushing, kept pushing out because I've got the 2 large and 3 ground, which I should have separated my grounds into each individual line, which I just wanted them down and out of the way in the back, but it kind of maxed up on that grommet there, which it's not hurting it or overwhelming it, but it's just a little stiff. The other ones will be a lot easier. And then, so of course, this is my number 1 charge controller, which my negative comes up, and then it flows nicely up in the middle to here. I didn't get these exactly organized for order, just because of how they wanted to bend, how they wanted to position. I've got a nice layout there, so it's good. And then this one, it's going to be, I actually have it connected on this breaker because this is how it wanted to bend. I just let it position that way. I'm like, hey, you know what? It lines up great there. It lines up great there. That's perfect. Now, unfortunately, with these breakers, they do studs. So you have to put on ring clamps. I don't know why they didn't just do like these guys. Maybe it's something about thermals. I don't know. Because this one running 120 volts, 60 amps. This has a potential for 100 amps. How much voltage? 50, 60, I don't remember. It's written on the side. But so anyway, they didn't do that. They went to studs. So now you can't just put it in and clamp it down. You have to put ring terminals on to every one of your wires, which fair enough, it's what it is. So Rw90, it's great at this stage. It's not awesome in the process, and of course this is fairly loaded up. You fill up your box. I couldn't imagine having more systems. This is a big system. I would not go with stiff wire. You would need flexible wire to be able to work if you had more systems running on into your PDP, because it's just, you can't flex around each other enough. I'm already working a bit to get my positives up to these, and it's like right there. It's right there, and this guy's over, and I already got that zapped over to the wall. This does not want to bend any, out more and then flexing back. It just, stuff doesn't want to bend. You don't want to bend aluminum too much anyway. So that's kind of maxed out. I'm going to be throwing a zap up here, of course, and then I've got one up here. These guys will be going that way over to those, and one more there she is, way up there. That's going to be holding my 1/0, maybe my 3/02. We'll see, because the 1/0s are going to be going in here, all my black and my red, leg 1, leg 2, to feed the bus bar for the AC grid connect. And then the 3/0 again are going to convert into the DIN. Then they're going to come out. I'm going to have 1/0s come off into here, and they're just going to be a short little leg, just a nice U-bolt, U-shape. But yeah, that zip tie, these are CUL listed 50-pound cable ties. And what I was saying in the other videos is that they have a metal tab in them. These are from our Bartle and Gibson Tex Bend Met ties, meaning metal, and right up in the tip. These don't even have the, let's see if I can get my focus. So right up in there, there's a metal tip, and there's no ribs on here, so it's very easy for an inspector to see if you're running certified cable ties. That's going to hold, you know, they want to see that you're holding your stuff firmly, solid. The zip cable ties are expensive. These are $42 for me, for a pack of 100. Okay, so there's a lot. I thought it was 50. So I'm thinking a bucket cable tie, that's nuts. So anyway, these are 50-pounders, and typically as you go up in length, you get a little bit fatter in body and a little bit thicker in width in the body as well. And yeah, so these are all CUL listed and all that stuff. So, you know, this is something you leave out. You let them see that you're running legitimate cable ties, and then they see that. And, you know, you want to pass as best as possible. And if there's something that's off and it's a minor thing, they're not going to be as sticky and as picky. So anyway, that's 50 pounds. There's no more than 50 pounds of pressure for sure. And that's a lot of weight. Yeah, that's awesome cable ties. But yeah, that's about it. So just kind of give you guys an idea. I wouldn't recommend the Rw90 for this because it's so hard to work with. If you have tight quarters, long runs, couple bends, not a big deal. Tight corners like this totally sucks. Go with, like, these are polar wire again. In previous videos I mentioned this. I know I'm repeating myself, but I mean, it's just so ridiculously flexible. This is 4 double hot. It's just amazing. So that would be super convenient, but it would be drooping. It would be dangling down and hanging off of this because the weight of it would be there until it gets to the grommet. So that weight is going to sag. Again, these are tight. These get torqued to 50 inch-pounds. Our chart there, it is 2 gauge, so we're between 3 and 2 double. And yeah, so 50 inch-pounds, 5.56 Newton meters. And that's for like all the cables through and through. That reading shows up. Yeah, back there we can see it. Battery cables has a 50 inch-pound as well for the negative. So that falls in line with these because it all goes by cable size. And these are 7-strand cable, so it's exceedingly thick cable, if you can see that. Yeah, so when you bite into that, it just bites in really firm and you get a nice transfer. This stuff is running hundreds of thousands of strands. These guys have a couple hundred strands in it. So thus you get the flexibility, but you can't directly clamp on the wire itself. With these, you got to put a ferrule on so that you're not crushing and cutting your wires. Because when you crimp them up to 45 inch-pounds, you can literally cut the little strands of wire. It's permitted, but this is always a winner. You crimp it on, and then you put your crimp down on a metal tab on the ferrule. So, all right, I'm going to start repeating myself. There we go so far. Yep, have fun.